Good morning. Good morning. Hey, y'all. Hey, Shirley. Good morning. I have a late start today. I took about 2 weeks off from going live. I know, guys, sometimes you need a mental break. Sometimes you have to disconnect. Sometimes you have to recalibrate. And here I am. All right. And so I had a couple of meetings this morning, but I have some free time. So I wanted to jump on here because so much is happening in the world. All right, Cheryl, you're always hopping from one graduation to another. Oh my goodness, such a beautiful thing to have so many grandchildren to celebrate. I love that for you. But before we get started, I'm going to go ahead and play the inspirational, to remind you that it's going to be a good day.
Step one, wake up early, gonna rise with the sun. Step two, get some good,
This
some
is
food.
bugging me out.
Step three, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step four, everybody just do your thing. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Set your affirmations, aspirations. I got shit to do, the aftermath of preparation. Good food, good mood, blood in circulation. One step at a time, yeah, that's how you make it. Set a goal you control and the steps you take them. I try to pick one thought, have some concentration. And if I make a mistake, it's called education. I try to do this every day, call it replication. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Life ain't easy, yo. I think there's a reason.
Hey!
Ups and downs, just like every different season, yo. Sometimes I'm high,
Other times I'm barely breathing, y'all.
You always gotta fight and hide from the demons, yo. Negative thoughts are poison the ride. Head full of flies.
Good morning, Stacy.
Don't ever stop unless I can swap all the bad for the good in my head when I'm lost. Yeah, so I'ma fake it till I make it. Positive thoughts are overtaken, I got patience.
One day at a time, that's how you operate a cadence.
So flow, you grow, you show yourself a foundation.
Stay away from all the shit that causes
temptation. I know that I like to do it cause it's sensation. direction. I live my life in my head like a narration. Don't expect greatness, do my best, man, I'll take it. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. Wake up. Good morning, Johnny Leon Hill. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Wake up, today's gonna be a good day.
Hey, good morning, happy Tuesday. We have a short week this week because we are off on Thursday. But so much has been going on in the world. I just can't believe that I'm actually a part of history that's going to be written in a book somewhere. Because this last week has been crazy with the LA protests going on, with Trump pulling out the military to stop them from protesting, these mass deportation nightmares that's going on, and all of this for Trump to then turn around and say, oh my God, the farmers are hurting. And so we might have to protect the farms by letting the immigrants stay. Like, you create all this havoc to do a mass deportation, knowing damn well anybody could have told you that it was going to affect the farming industry as well as the construction industry and many other industries, right? But no, you had to go ahead with your mass deportation. And now you see that these farmers ain't got no workers. These construction sites are empty. And the ones that are not empty, ICE is raiding them, and motherfuckers are hiding on the roofs so that ICE can't get up there and get them. You know, it just amazes me how you call out for mass deportation and now you're trying to act like the hero to save the farmers. It's crazy to me. And yes, Johnny Leon Hill, all the wars that's going on. I mean, we damn near got a civil rights war going on right now, right? It's brewing, right? And my black ass be sitting in here trying to mind my business. I talk about it, you know, I have dialogue about it, but I'm not anxious to run outside and hold up no picket signs. You know, black people had their time. Black people was out there with picket signs. Black people been fighting, still fighting, right? And a lot of these different cultures were not fighting with us. Now, I'm not saying none of them, because there was a few, but I'm not about to go outside and fight for all of these cultures that didn't give a shit about the black culture, right? And I'm not individualizing this. I'm just saying the writing is on the wall, right? Most other cultures got some sort of reparations, okay, for the bad treatment that the Europeans gave, okay? But the black people are still sitting here like, well, what happened? Well, what happened? We don't have a law. We don't have reparations. We don't got shit. We are still in trying to get our rights, right? So I be damned if I'm going to be out there fighting for deportation. I mean, I don't agree with it. I also don't agree with you coming into the country without having proper documentation, but I do not agree with snatching people up and sending them back, because the United States was supposed to be a place, you know, of opportunity. And so I'm just minding my black ass business. I am, you know, that might sound mean, but give us what we're asking for. Like we're constantly fighting for other cultures, right? Other races. And we're still drowning. You know, it's so sad what's going on now. It's so funny because as I watch every day, something new happens, right? Canada just issued a travel warning ban or a travel warning, right, on the United States of America. Child, we are ghetto. We are operating like a third world country almost. I mean, Canada is like, don't go. We got a travel warning on the United States of America. Now, who puts a travel warning on the United States of America? Woo! Honey, signs of the times, okay? Then we have a parade. Well, we had two. We had what was supposed to be the military parade, right? To honor 250 years of the military. That's what the parade was supposed to be. But somebody in the White House thought that they wanted to celebrate their birthday. So they made it about them. And so this is why the parade, in my opinion, was empty. Because ain't nobody singing happy birthday to you, man. This is not about you. This was about the military. And when I watched the military walk, I was like, they don't march no more. They march. They absolutely march. Okay? But they did not march in that parade. Did y'all notice that? They walked casually. Marching is a symbolism of respect. In the military, marching in unison is a symbolism of respect. These soldiers did not march. They walked casually. It was almost like a silent protest that why the fuck are we here and what the fuck is this when nobody is in the crowd? But no King's Parade. They had 700,000 in one city, 200 and something thousand in another city, 500 and something thousand in another city. Millions of people was out for No King's Day on the same day that the military was celebrating their 250 years that their commanding officer made about him and fucked it up. We are in some very sad times. Johnny said our dollar ain't going to be worth anything around the world. Baby, let me tell you something. As our dollar is getting weaker, Ghana's money is getting stronger. See, we're not paying attention because there's so much noise going around that we don't even know what to listen to, right? And sometimes I think that's the plan. Make it so damn nosy so that people don't know what to really focus on and we could do some real fucked up shit without them noticing. Ghana money is flourishing, okay? Meanwhile, in Grenada, when I went to Grenada, they didn't want to take our money if it had a wrinkle in it, if it had a dent in it. It got to be like brand new money for them to take it. I've never been to a country that analyzed our money so closely that they had a preference of which dollar bill they wanted to take. And so lesson learned, when I do go back to Grenada, I'm going to exchange my money for EC money because that's easy to spend there. But I had a hard time spending the American dollar in Grenada. Now, they do love the American dollar. Let me not get that twisted. But they just don't want the paper bills because they don't want them to look funny. Okay? You can swipe your credit card. They'll love to take that. Okay? And so, Johnny, I think you're right. Our dollar is looking kind of funky in some places. Johnny said people were laughing because some people were getting the tickets for the parade and not showing up, and Trump got mad. He sure did get mad. But so what? Like, I have never in my lifetime, I am 58 years old, I have never in my lifetime have seen so many protests with so many people coming out asking to remove a president from their seat. This is like, it's crazy. We are in some hard times. Okay? We are definitely in some hard times. And I still see some friends on my timeline still celebrating Trump. Hey, Brandilla, still celebrating Trump, saying Trump is doing the bomb this and the bomb that, and he's doing this and he's doing that, right? And then I see those same people constantly talking about Obama and Biden. Like, this is when you know people have an impact on your life, right? When you keep talking about them. Like, Biden and Obama is living in the headspace of Trump and Trump supporters. Why? Because when someone lives in your headspace like that, there's a reason. Okay, there's a reason. There's a reason. Shit. But how's everybody doing? Has anybody been to any of the protests, or anything of that nature? Has anybody gotten involved at that level? I'm minding my business. Now, one thing I do want to say is that I was very disappointed in the turnout of my town's primary election for governor, right? I was very disappointed. I went for an early vote. See, this is where people make my ass itch, okay? Everybody want to come on social media and have an opinion. Everybody want to talk about what needs to change, right? In our country, in our state, in our city, in our town. Everybody has something to fucking say, right? But they don't show up to the polls. They don't. I went to early vote, thinking that the polls were going to be crowded. Now, I vote literally down the block. I could walk, right? But I drove to the courthouse, which is 5 minutes from me, and I went and I early voted. And when I went for the presidential election, it was crowded. We waited online for about 45 minutes before we could get in and vote. When I went to vote for the primary for governor to see who was going to run for governor, I walked right in and voted, and I was out in 5 minutes. And I said to myself, I hope this is not a testament to what is to come on the actual June 10th, which was election day, okay, for the primaries for governor. And my nosy ass, I drove down the block to the the polls where I normally vote on voting day, just to see who was out there. It was empty. And people would say, well, I don't really know these candidates and I don't really know that. Well, you didn't know algebra at one point either. You didn't know 1 + 1 either. You didn't know your ABCs. How do you get to know something? You research. Okay. And so I didn't know all these governors running either, but I knew who I was going to vote for based on following this person's, navigation through other political seats that they've taken. And so it really hurts my feelings when people don't come out and vote and they wait to vote for the president and then they fucking complain about the president, forgetting that the president oversees federal shit, but you still have your governors that mandates what happens in your state. Okay? So when I see people posting about the taxes are high, that this is how, or when I hear people say, well, they're all full of shit and why bother vote, I just shake my head. And I be disgusted. And I mean, some of my friends fit this category. I love them, right? But I'm just being honest. And if you are one of my friends and you didn't vote, as soon as I hear you complain, I'm going to be like, did you show up to the poll? Did you? Because before you can complain, what effort are you putting in for change? So that's my spiel about the election and all that's going on. I mean, you have a voice, use it. I know some people think it's worthless, but let me tell you something. Get the fuck out there and vote every 2 years for these seats that matter more in most cases than the presidential seat, okay? Because if you didn't know any better, Congress has more power than the president. And how do we put people in Congress? We got to go vote. That's my spiel on voting, all right? I don't mean, to be harsh about it, but it's just frustrating. It's just tiring. The ancestors are rolling around in their graves wondering what the hell did they fight for? Because they fought doesn't mean that we stop fighting, right? I'm not picketing outside right now. I'm minding my black ass business, but I will go in and make my voice known on the vote because somebody fought for me to have that ability to do so. And white America that has a problem with minorities is banking on the fact that you guys be like, fuck it, I'm not voting. I don't give a damn. I'm not voting. They're hoping that you do that. And some of y'all give them the unks to clap for y'all because y'all don't do it. People don't vote at local elections. That's where your vote actually counts. And yeah, people. I mean, I get into conversations with some of my friends. I mean, at this point, I don't even debate with my friends anymore. I be like, are you going to vote? Or I'll say I'm going to vote if they're not interested in voting. I don't say nothing. But as soon as you complain, I'm going to be like, did you vote? Did you vote? Man. Yes, I saw that, Valerie. Congratulations. I congratulated you on your post. Good for you. I love that for you. Yes, go feed the cat. So enough of that spiel. Now moving on to current events. So somebody tried to poison R. Kelly in jail. Something about his toothpaste. Did y'all hear about that? R. Kelly had an overdose in jail. Now, it's so ironic because wasn't it just a couple of weeks ago, his lawyers was saying that they were going to go have a conversation with Trump to see if Trump can pardon R. Kelly because his life is in danger. Thank you, Valerie, saying that his life is in danger. Okay. And so I guess the danger happened. He was overdosed in the jail. So prayers for R. Kelly. I mean, I know he in there for what he did, but I still be stepping to the name of love. I'm just being honest. I do listen to R. Kelly's music because I feel like if I pinned every artist to the wall because of their crimes, I wouldn't listen to nobody. Because half of the artists we sing to that got arrested, the beat their girlfriend, they done did some shit. Right? So I try to separate the music from the person. And so I'm still stepping in the name of love. Okay. All right. So prayers out for R. Kelly. All right. Hopefully he recovers and does better. We are in week 6 of the Diddy trial, and all we're hearing about is these freak offs, right? And so, yes, they have proven, racketeering charges, of course, and stuff like that. I don't know if they have a strong case against the sexual trafficking or human trafficking, but they do have a case on racketeering, I believe. Okay, so let me tell you something. The federal government is not going to walk without letting one of them or two of them charges stick. Believe it. Also, a juror was removed from the jury panel because he lied about where he lived. First, he said he lived in Queens, then he said he lived in Brooklyn or whatever. So they removed him. Now, I don't know how that impacts the trial because now they have to go out and replace a juror, right? So this is going to be interesting. It was supposed to be 8 weeks of trial time. We're in week 6. And so 2 more weeks to go before we know what Diddy's fate is. And so what do y'all think it's going to be? You think he's going to get out? What do you think it's going to be? What's crazy is I'm surprised they didn't call other people to the stand like Jennifer Lopez, Young Miami, I'm surprised they didn't call additional folks to the stand. I know Justin Bieber doesn't want anything to do with them, but they could have subpoenaed him. You don't have a choice if you subpoenaed. Like, I feel like they should have subpoenaed these folks that really were impacted by Diddy in other ways, right? They should have subpoenaed Jaden Smith, Will Smith and Jada's son. They should have subpoenaed him. I think that they should subpoena these folks and make them come the fuck in there and say what the fuck was going on, because Justin Bieber and Jaden were underage. And so that's the kind of testimonies I'm waiting to hear. I don't know if the next 2 weeks, if that's going to happen, but I'd be curious to see why the fuck they didn't subpoena Jay-Z and Beyonce. I just don't understand. They could have even subpoenaed Kanye. He showed up for court, but they wouldn't let him in the courtroom. I don't know. And so we got about 2 more weeks to see what is happening with that. All right. Anything interesting you guys have been watching on TV? I finally got to see Sinners, and y'all made a big deal about Sinners. Like, it was so fucking good. Like, the way people wrote about Sinners was like, oh my God, you're going to be holding on to your pearls. I pick voodoo over Christianity any day. They made it seem like I was going to get this deep, empowering message from Sinners. They made it seem like it was going to go into Christianity and voodoo. And it did touch it, through the music. The black guy playing the music summoned the white people who were vampires or whatever. I'm sorry if y'all didn't see it or whatever. But to me, it was just a typical horror movie. Like, I didn't see anything so deep and impacting by it. And I watched it twice because I figured I must have missed something. And I was like, okay, it was okay. And I like horror movies. It was good for a horror movie. But because I was watching it for something deeper than that, I had to watch it again to get the horror effect, because I didn't want to concentrate the second time around. And so if you like Sinners, it was a good movie, but I ain't get all that deep shit that a lot of other people got out of it. Sue me. Okay. The other movie that I got to watch was Until Dawn. Now that shit, that was scary, y'all. I might watch that again. Until Dawn. I might watch that again. That shit is scary. I like a good scary movie. And also Final Destination Bloodlines is really, really good. All of the Final Destinations for me is good. I went back and watched 5 just to get a refresher. And then I watched Bloodlines, Final Destination Bloodlines. And it was really, really good, in my opinion. But I love the Final Destination franchise. I do love it. And so you can't escape death. Death is coming for you. Right? And so that was a good watch if you're looking for something interesting to watch. Now, those are not on cable yet. So if you don't have a way to watch those, then you wait for those. And while you're waiting, there is a Netflix series that was very interesting, very good to me. Okay. You know what I noticed? A lot of foreign movies are on Netflix and Hulu, movies that are coming out of Europe. And I love it. And I absolutely love it. And so this series is called Department Q. To me, it's a good series. How it ended, I wouldn't have guessed it. Okay. And so if you're looking for something interesting to watch Department Q. Okay. It's about 9 episodes, I think. It's a good watch. All right. And so that's all my updates and all that stuff that, I had to share. Hopefully the fellas had a wonderful Father's Day. I know that a lot of men feel like women don't give 2 cents about them on Father's Day. But, if I got a man, I'm going to celebrate my man on every holiday. That's how I do. It might not always be a big gift. It might be a little gift. You might get a balloon, but I'm going to acknowledge you on the holiday. Father's Day, to me, when I see a man that is really a good father, that's really making an effort, and he's my man, I'm going to, treat him special, show him that I thought about you. I respect you. I appreciate, you in your fatherhood shoes. And so I hope that the fathers out there got the love that they deserve. Now, the deadbeats, I hope, you do better next year. Right? We got hope. All right. So let me move on to today's message. June, I haven't been on in 2 weeks, so we have not talked about June, which is the month of forgiveness. And so here we are entering the month of forgiveness. Last month was the month of acceptance. And so, forgiveness is one of those things I sit on the fence with because, there's probably some people in my life I don't fucking forgive, and I don't even want to hear the lecture, forgive them for yourself. I don't give a shit. I sleep with my mouth open. Okay, I'm still a work in progress. I'm just being honest. Okay, but we're going to get into the message from June 17th. Okay, this is a really good message. All right, because if I would have been reading this message many, many, many years ago, over and over again, I probably would have detoured past several relationships in my life, whether they were significant others or whether they were friends. Okay. And so we're going to get into reading what June 17th says. Let's not rush July. June 17th, I am now willing to forgive myself for my inability to accept people exactly as they are. Your inability to accept people for exactly who they are. So when you just read that sentence, what is the first thing you think about? My inability to accept people for who they are. Right? First thing I think of is all the excuses I made for friends who are nasty, had nasty attitudes. You know what I'm saying? I would make excuses for them. Oh, they're just in a bad mood. Oh, they just this. Oh, they just that. Make excuses for them. Or you're in a relationship and you know it's not the best relationship and you make an excuse for why you stay in that relationship, why you see something better in that person, but yet they're not showing it to you, but you make all these excuses. Forgive yourself for your inability to see and accept people for who they really are. People will show you who they are. Okay? And we have to see it. And once we see it, that is when we decide, is this for me? Friends, family, significant other. Okay? Your opinion of another person affects how you treat them and what you expect from them. Believe it or not, how you see another person usually has very little to do with them. Your views, your opinions, your perceptions, your judgments all stem from you. They are a function of who you believe you are or are not. How you see someone else is an outgrowth of what you want and what you believe they have that you need. What is inside you ultimately determines how much you approach other people. In a very large part, your approach and your expectations determine how people respond to you. Baby, your approach, okay, and your expectations determine how people respond to you. Keep that in mind. In his book, The Seat of the Soul, author Gary Zukov writes, when you release the wants of your personality in order to accommodate and encourage others, you attune yourself to the person's soul. When in your daily interactions with others, you can see someone else from a soul level. You can feel their need for love and support. When you look beyond what you think about someone, it is easy to see the truth. When you look beyond what you think about a person, okay, it is easy to see the truth. We are all here in this life to help each other grow into our greatness. When you can see someone at the soul level, you become their teacher and their student. You are teaching them how to move beyond the fear and judgment of the personality into the divine light and rest at their core. As students, you are learning to move beyond your fears and judgment into the loving strength and power that is truth of who you are. Until today, you may not have realized that your thoughts about others were filled with multitude of things that may not be true. So many times we come up with what we see and what we think we see and what we think we feel about other people, that we are blinded to what they really are. Just for today, see everyone as your teacher. Realize they are teaching you things about yourself. See everyone as your student. Remember, you are learning to see everyone through the eyes of love and truth. Today, I am devoted to seeing the truth about myself in everything else. Baby, that's a message for your ass, okay? Forgive me for my inability to accept people for who they are. And when we don't accept people for who they are, sometimes we wind up keeping people around in our lives longer than we need to. Sometimes you just got to accept people for who they are. And sometimes that means y'all rock together. And sometimes that means you don't. Okay. And I have gotten to the point in my life in the last 4 years where I am accepting people for who they are. Right. And if it doesn't align with, the healthy state of my mental, okay, I'm abandoning ship. Because I'm not expecting anybody to change for me. You understand what I'm saying? That was my teacher. You showed me what I needed to see. You taught me what I needed to learn. Now it's up to me to decide how I'm going to navigate my life. I am not going to continue to falsify the truth, which is in front of me. Forgive yourself for the inability of seeing people for who they are. And once you see people for who they are and it doesn't align with your life, what do you do with that? What do you do with that? You go the opposite way. You do. Like, there was a time in my life that I used to question, am I a good friend? And I never really developed friendships from a young age because I had my son at a young age and I didn't have time to hang out. My family was not the family that raised my child while I still have a childhood. I had to automatically become an adult. Okay, so I didn't have time at 15 years old, at 16 years old, at 17 years old to foster into those friendships from school. I had to be a mother. And so a lot of my friendships developed at older ages. And I went through a lot of friends that I knew we didn't align and I didn't like things about them. But my inability to see them for who they are got in the way because I kept making excuses for them. Oh, they just like that. They're just direct. They don't mean anything, etc. Did my comments stop populating? The comment section is working. And so, I'm doing better, right? And so, many people might say, "Oh, she changed. You're different." And yes, I'm going to continue to change as long as I'm breathing. I am constantly I am constantly changing, hopefully for the better. Okay? And so that's the message for today. One question that I wanted to ask you, because this is something that I've been thinking about, and it's probably just me, in my own head. I'm an overthinker. So I think I overthink about a lot of things. Okay. But one thing is that, by watching the shows that I have been watching recently and listening to conversations with people, I just had a question about jealousy in friendships, right? Jealousy in friendships. Have you ever experienced jealousy in friendships, and what does it look like? Right? Now, I've never been in a situation where somebody outright said, "Oh, I'm jealous of you," right? Normally, it comes out in behaviors and different things like that. So that's a question. Jealousy in friendships. Have you ever experienced jealousy in friendships? And if you have, how do you navigate through that? How do you fix that? Right? Because you can't just go to your friend and go, "You're jealous of me," because they're going to get offended. Right? So how do you address jealousy in friendships or in families? How do you address something like that? That's one part of the question. The other thing is, lately I find myself, because I have a lot of are you guys not able to comment? Johnny, you just commented. Are you guys not able to comment? Oh yeah. Okay. And maybe that's what I need. Thank you, Shirley. I mean, maybe I just need a deeper understanding. So I really appreciate that, Shirley. I'm always an open book. I'm always willing to learn. I watched it twice. I saw some of it, but I didn't get it as you know, as much as some others got it. So I appreciate that, Cheryl Lee. Um, Jealousy in friendships. How do you address that? Stacy said, yes, my boy got mad when I chose Texas over Mexico. I'm an adult and I go where I go. And where I go, who I choose to be around is my choice. Absolutely. But how do you address it? How does jealousy show up in friendships? Have any of you ever experienced it? And what does it look like? Because sometimes I be confused. Like, I never really know if somebody is jealous of me or not. I don't focus on stuff like that. But I guess for me, and this is not because I feel like anybody is jealous of me. I have two things, right? That was one part of it, jealousy in friendships, right? The second part is, I've been having such a great relationship experience, okay? It's a new experience for me, the way the relationship evolved and continues to evolve. Um, and I have a lot of friends who are single, right? And so sometimes I feel like I want to share like my good moments. You know what I'm saying? My good experiences, something good that has happened. But I'm hesitant to do that because either when I share it, I feel like, when I share, right, those people might brush it off and change the subject or talk over me and try to have a whole nother conversation as if they don't really want to hear about my good experiences. And so I sit back and I go, is that on purpose? Like, do you do that on purpose? Do you not want to hear? Or do or they act like they didn't hear you when you said it? And so I don't know what that is, right? But I have gotten to the point where a lot of stuff that I want to share, I don't share, right? Because I don't want to make other people who are not having relationship experiences that may want to have relationship experiences to feel bad, right? But sometimes I just want to shout to the winds about how happy I am and the good experiences I'm having. And I find that I can't do that with everybody. That's sad. Shade. Okay, Stacy said it can come across by shady comments, not calling. Now, shady comments, that's a good one, Stacy. All right. The comments where after the comment is made, they say just joking. Just joking. Are you? How do you address that with your friends? Because you can't just come out and go, are you jealous of me? Because first thing nobody is ever going to say, yes, I'm jealous of you. Real calm. Maybe they are, but most of the people will come across and go, bitch, why the fuck would you think that immediately? Right? And maybe it's because of your shady comments. Stacy said, people can sometimes become territorial over friends. Like, grow up. We own no one. Ooh. Jealousy in friendships when people have other friends. You know, when it's so crazy because my friends, I have friends, right? But I do different things with different friends. I do. Like, you know, I mean, certain friends fit certain categories. You know what I mean? If I'm planning on vacationing, I have my friends that I know is going to have a really good time on vacation. If I'm just going to dinner, I have my friends that'll be all right with just going to dinner. Okay? I mean, I don't do all the same things with all of the friends because, you know, the energy is different. The energy is different. But this is a good one. Grow up. No one owns anyone. I've been in these friendship wars where, you know, people get upset. You hang with this one more than this one. You go here more than this one. You don't hang with me as much. Baby, nobody bets to ever call my phone. Okay, because I went through that before. And that is like the worst scenario. Like, don't fucking call me talking about you hang with this one more than you hang with me, and you do this with this one more than you do with me. I fucking do what I want. Like, why are we making friendships so complicated? I don't know. We own no one. We own no one. And so I have entered into, you know, in this healing journey, I enter in and out of different phases of what I'm dealing with, right? And I'm in the phase right now of reciprocity, right? I need you to reciprocate. I don't give a damn if you're family, if you're friends, if you're my man. I don't give a damn about none of that. If you are not reciprocating, if you are not pouring into my cup as I am pouring into your cup, I'ma fucking stop pouring. That's it, and that's all. Don't look at me sideways. Don't come at me, you know, out the corner of your mouth. Be reciprocal. That's where I'm at, because all the years I've been a caretaker, I've been giving, I've been doing all of this. And then when I was able to sit with myself, right, and look around, I realized, you know, the people that I overflowed Niagara Falls juice in their cups, they're not even giving me a leaky faucet, dripping mine. And so I'm not holding any animosity. I'm not mad, because people can only do what they could do. But when you know you could do only what you could do, don't expect somebody else to constantly keep filling up your cup. Okay? Reciprocal. That's what I need. And so that's how I'm operating in my friendships and my relationships across the board. What you pour out, I'm pouring out. The fuck? That's it. Because I'm tired. I got, like Cheryl Lee said, I got more years behind me than in front of me. And I'm trying to have the best experiences I can have for these years. Stacy said, people have issues with that too. Don't do shit for me if you want to speak on it all the time. I owe you shit. Oh, baby. Don't be the person that does something for me. Okay? That does something for me and throws it in my face or says, well, I did this for you, you should do it for me. Bitch, reciprocation doesn't mean I gave you a pair of blue jeans so you give me a pair of blue jeans. It doesn't mean that. Reciprocation is just giving back. It could be in different ways, right? But as soon as you throw up in my face, I did this for you and you didn't do this for me, I'm gonna be like, we're not doing that. Because if you did something for me, okay, I think I'm back. Okay. Can you guys hear me? My internet went out for a minute. I guess they haven't. I don't know. They doing a lot of construction around here. So they could have knocked us out for a minute. Can you guys hear me? Tell me if you can hear me. Okay. Um, okay. All right. So Johnny said Different friendship circles have different histories. We are too grown to be acting out. Say what you feel and deal with it. I agree with that. But let me tell you what I learned about friendships, Johnny, right? This is how you can determine whether you have a true friendship or not. Okay? I have learned what true friendship is. I have a friend that we've been friends for over 30 years. And we have argued, we have fought, and it's never broken up the friendship. Okay, it's never broken up the friendship. And then I've had friends that I loved, okay, that I ride and die for. And as soon as we have a confrontation or a disagreement, the friendship collapses. That tells me right there that we are not friends, because true friendship should be able to talk about your differences. Okay? Overcome your differences. Even if you yelled and screamed at each other, even if you cried. Okay? Even if you cried, you should be able to recover in that friendship. And I learned the hard way that people that say you're your friends are not always your friends. That goes back to the inability of seeing people for who they really are. Okay? Now, Brandon, Cheryl said, I don't take jealousy personal because I recognize it, as you said. It's really about them. How I address it depends on who it is. Give me an example, Cheryl, of how you address a situation like that. Yes, Brandilla, congratulations, June 30th. I thought about you. I was in AC on Thursday. Oh my God, it was such a nice overnight stay. We drove out to AC. We stayed at the Ocean Resort, and it was such a beautiful stay. It was so relaxing. And while we were in a casino, and I went to the cashier to cash in my ticket, I thought about you, Brandy, because I know for a period of time you were doing that. All right. And so congratulations on your new job on June 30th. I'm happy for you. Give me an example, Cheryl, on how you handle a situation like that, right? Because it is about them. But when it's about them and how they act, it overflows into the friendship sometimes. And in my case, it causes me to pause, right? It causes me to not share as much because I feel the tension in the friendship or relationship where the person is just not interested in what I got going on. Okay. And it's sad because I love to share with my friends. I do. And there's some friends that I can share everything with and they will celebrate with me and I will do the same. And then there's other friends who I'll say something to and they'll brush it off like they never even heard it. They act like they don't want to talk about it. They change the subject. And I sit there and I say to myself, is it because they don't want to hear my good news? Like if I can't share with my friends, who am I going to share with? And so it becomes complicated. It becomes complicated. Stacy said, I have friends over 30 years, never had an argument so serious we stopped speaking. Real friendship. Real friendship, right? You know, I mean, and family members too. Like, I feel like family members argue or whatever. Now, depending on what the fuck they did, I'll stop talking to them. And, you know, I have been a little distant from my family for about 2 years, right? Because I just needed that space. Okay. I just did. You know, there's things that I'm harboring from my childhood trauma, things that I definitely need to go to therapy for, that I realize that I'm harboring. And so I took a little hiatus from family activities for about 2 years. Now, this upcoming weekend, I am going to a family event in City Island. It's a yearly event that we have for my grandmother. Again, I have not been in 2 years, right? That's my own shit that I got to deal with, okay? But I am going to go this particular to this particular event. And it's going to be interesting because I kind of argued. Well, I did. I argued with one of my cousins and hung up the phone on her. And if she's going to be there, this will be the first time that I'm seeing her since the whole incident. Now, I'm not holding any hostility over it, right? It's just one of those situations where, having a platform like Coffee with Friends becomes difficult sometimes because I share a lot of my personal life on here. And some people get agitated with the things that I say, right? But it's my life and I can say what the fuck I want to say. They're my experiences and I can share them. And if you were a part of them, oh well, they're still my experiences, right? And some people don't like that. So I'm a very funny person. If I come on my show and I share an experience with you, about something that has occurred in my life or how I'm feeling about something, don't be that person to call me after my show and ask if I'm talking about you or who I'm talking about. If I did not mention the person's name or the people's names of who I was talking about, then do not call me and ask me who the fuck I'm talking about. And so that's how that argument pursued. I had a cousin to call me and she wanted to know who I was talking about. And I said, why would you need to know that? If the shoe fit, wears it. If it doesn't, throw it to the side. What the fuck does it matter? Right? And the conversation kept going. And I said to myself, I don't got to explain shit. And I hung up. And I don't. And I don't. And so having this platform sometimes brings a little bit of weight because, the truth is hard for people to swallow at times. Okay? It is. And a lot of people don't want to relive toxic shit. And sometimes through my stories that involve other people, they get a little offended. And so, I take breaks in between because I'm telling you right now, if I end up at a family event and somebody fucking asks me about a topic I had on my show and who I was talking about, it ain't gonna be pretty. It's not, right? Brandilla said, I have two best friends since we were 12. I'm thankful for them. Isn't that beautiful? What time is it? Okay, because I have a meeting coming up. Let me see. Because I do work, y'all. I know y'all think people that work from home don't work because we have some free time in our day because we're not in the office. And so we have the ability to squeeze in our extracurricular activities, and some people assume we don't work, but we do. I have a meeting at 1:30. Blissfully said, if it is a friend I value, I'm definitely going to address what I feel is undermining or conflicting with me because I value them and want it to be genuine. And I love that, right? And I love that. I love that. And a true friend would accept that. Oh, my stomach growling. Y'all hear it? That's because let me show y'all the juice that I made this morning because I got me a new juicer. I drank some of it already because I wanted to drink my coffee first, but I was on TikTok this morning demonstrating my new juicer. So if you're interested in go to my TikTok page and go look at my post about the juicer and get you one, okay? Oh, my connection is lost again. Oh, Lord. Oh, it's back. I might have to end my live, y'all, because I don't know. And they better stop it because I have a meeting and I need my Wi-Fi. My Wi-Fi keeps going in and out. I don't know what the hell is going on. We don't have any rainstorms. It's heavy overcast, but I don't know what's going on. But this is my green juice that I made this morning. I didn't have a lot of fruit left, so I had to juice what I had. So I juiced 2 apples, I juiced kale, and I juiced a carrot. That's all I had left. I ran out of ginger. I ran out of pineapple, but this was my juice for the week. My next juice is going to be I think I'm gonna do beet juice, carrot, ginger, and kale. I think that's gonna be. I always do kale because I love the green. Okay, so I'm probably gonna do right. What did I say? Beets, carrot, ginger, and kale. That'll probably and lemon. That'll be my juice that I'll be drinking all next week. Okay, this week I did a green juice. You know, I used to juice all the time, but I got rid of my last juicer because it was so big and so complicated to clean. And I saw this smaller, more compact juicer on TikTok that I fell in love with. And it was under $80. Actually, the other day when I went live and I did a demonstration on it, it was on sale for $54. And so at any point, y'all can go to my link on TikTok. Now, you don't have to go to my link, but if you're trying to support a sister, I get a little commission if you hit the button and you purchase it from my video, okay? I'm out here grinding all the time, all right? And so when people ask me, why are you online all the time? Because they send me 50 cents. You know, 50 cent adds up to $1. Okay, anywhere we can grind, we grind. So if you're supporting me and you want a juicer, only if you want a juicer, go to my TikTok. All right, I advertise a lot of things. So if you're interested in something that I'm advertising, click the link that's there, get it, and I'll get my little 50 cent. And I love it. I appreciate y'all. Okay. This is a part of my healthy journey. Again, I used to juice all the time. As a matter of fact, AG laughed at me yesterday because I was starving by 2:00. And he said, that's because you drink coffee and then you juice. Like, where is the food? I know I'm trying, y'all, but my digestive tract has just been off. And I'm trying to get it right. You know what I'm saying? You know, and so here we go. So that was the message today. The message today, we got through reading the message today. It talked about our inability to see people for who they are. You got to start seeing people for who they are. All right. Then we got into talking about jealousy and friendships. How is that managed? How is it handled? And based on some of the feedback, if you are truly in a reciprocal friendship, a loving friendship, then an argument and a disagreement and being transparent with each other should not ruin the friendship. Now, once you are transparent with your friend and you find that it ruins the friendship, then that's a note, that's a check mark that says they were never your fucking friends, right? Because friends don't dissipate that easily, okay? So that's a message for your ass, okay? And lastly, I want to say, please continue to move with peace and love because we are in some trying times here right now, okay? We are in some very trying times, and my black ass is minding my business. You know, after I exercise and I do my yoga, I pray. I'm thankful for the air that I'm breathing. When I wake up in the morning, I'm thankful for having the capacities to be able to exercise, be able to move around. And I'm thankful for my trials and tribulations because they are my blessings and lessons. And anytime I'm walking through a dark tunnel, I know that there's light at the end of the tunnel because I've been there several times before. And so no matter what's going on in your life, you know, keep navigating it in positive ways. Stay in your healing moments, your journeys, whatever the case may be. And when you're having a bad day, a bad moment, sit in it. It's okay to have a bad moment, a bad day. I was having a bad week last week. I took 2 weeks off because I needed a mental break. Okay. One, because my malpractice case has ramped up and they're really bullying me in this case right now. And so I've been really excessively stressed about this case, right? Which has been in the forefront of my life for the past 7 years. And so I'm just so tired and I needed a mental break from being able to come on here and talk about shit when my mind was so congested with the things that I was focused on, right? And so I appreciate you guys for having patience with me. You know, life's, right? And so when life life's for me, I have to sit down. I have to sit down, I have to think, I have to recalibrate, I have to figure my stuff out. And so that's where I'm at. So when I do these disappearing acts, I'm still present on social media. I'm still here. I'm still navigating my life. But sometimes mentally, I don't have the capacity for the good word of the day. I don't have the capacity to talk about things, because my mind is so congested with other things. And so I appreciate you guys having patience with me and showing up when I do come. Cheryl said, I had to address jealousy on my end with my sister. I had to look at why I was the target, had to practice gratitude for the dad that I had and raised me, and owed her several apologies. Oh. Wow. Okay. Okay. That's a deep one, Cheryl. Thank you for sharing that. All right. Anybody else before I move towards closing the show? I have a 1:30 meeting and I got to go tinkle, wash my hands, get my mind right for this meeting. But if anybody else want to inject something? Yes, Johnny. Let me go back to the show. Johnny Leon Hill, if you're still here. I was wishing I could come to the show too. So I just want to say out loud on the screen, congratulations to Johnny Hill, right? On the piano lessons play. I love this for you, Johnny. I absolutely love this for you. And I wish I could have seen this play. I wanted to see it when it was on Broadway. And I was hoping I was going to be able to see it with you in it, right? We're already mid-June, so I don't know if I'll be able to see it. But I'm so proud of you, Johnny, and I can't wait for other things to kick off. But you and I need to talk because I want to do things, and you got equipment and shit, and I need to figure out how I can expand on Coffee with Friends. I know that my time with all the things that I'm juggling is limited, but I'd like to talk about what I can do, and maybe it's not something that I do on a daily basis. Maybe it's something that I do, occasionally or whatever. So let me, did you miss a show? What you mean, Cheryl? No, the show is still going. The piano lesson. That's what you're talking about, Cheryl. It's in Virginia. Johnny been posting it on social media. We talked about it here. It's in Virginia. It's going all through the month of June. I want to make it. I mean, I could buy a train ticket to go to Virginia. Let me think about it. Is it too late for me to get a ticket? I'm going to have to text Johnny because I don't know if he's still on here or not. I'm over here. Listen, I'm on a budget, but I can afford a train ticket. Then I need to get a hotel for an overnight stay so I can get back the fuck on the train the next day. Yes, piano lesson has Johnny in it. It's in Virginia. Mm-hmm. It's going all through the month of June. Cheryl, hopefully you can make it. Hopefully you can make it. I gotta reach out to Johnny. I don't know if he's still on the show, but gotta reach out and see if it's too late to still get tickets or whatever. And then you could check on his page on Facebook. He's been advertising it. And so it seems like the play is really doing good. But with that, guys, I gotta move to closure because it's 1:06 and I really have a couple of things to do before I jump into this meeting. And I need to make sure my Wi-Fi is stable because, if the shit go down, I'm just not going to be working. Oh, no, I can't even watch TV. No, I need my Wi-Fi. They better stop playing with my feelings and my emotions. But anyway, y'all, I got to go. But I'm going to try my best to be here tomorrow for y'all, all right? We got a short week this week. Thursday is Juneteenth. Hopefully you guys have plans for Juneteenth. Hopefully you guys are all off from work on Thursday and you'll be able to celebrate. I don't have any immediate plans on Thursday. I am going into the city to meet my girlfriend Maria tomorrow to hang out with her because I wasn't able to go to her birthday celebration on Thursday of last week because I was in AC with my boo, you know. I was being booed up, you know. And so I am going to go into the city and meet up with her tomorrow since we have Thursday off. And then I don't know what I'm planning on doing Thursday. Thank you, Shirley. Yes, thank you, Stacy. You guys have a blessed day. I'm going to send you out with a reminder that no matter or even when you feel low, you can still what?
Even when you feel low, you can still go.
And you can.
Even when you feel slow, you can still go.
You can.
Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go.
This is Coffee with Friends, and I am Roy to Debo. Come back tomorrow, y'all. Hopefully I'll be here. I'll ping y'all. Move with peace and love. Get this message.
I'll be making moves till I'm buried in my grave.
Hey!
Through the system, I don't wanna be a slave.
I've been doing shit
my way, or the highway, and in the driveway is a nice range. 'Cause I got through the climb, I am fighting.
What?
Gotta put the switch and you can go and obtain
anything you want, anything you need. Your mind's got the key ingredients. Hey!
They see with the negativity, but I just slide right by that energy.
What? Even when you feel
low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go.
I never answer.
No, man,
I might start answering now, y'all.